Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager number 774S-MIL and a vinyl sort of material. This is it's a door bottom is really what this item is from Hager. I'm going to open it up, liberate it from its packaging. So we're going to take a little closer look at it. A door bottom, this would be very typically called. You could also use it as an astragal. I've seen it used in those instances as well. But generally this will apply to the bottom of a door and will be used to seal up against a threshold, just like this. Okay. The 774S is representative of the profile of this item and its dimensional properties. Now let's go over now what those are. They tell us that it's 1 3/8 wide, indeed, and that it's 19/32 overall height, so basically 5/8, right in that range. That's the case. 1/4 inch worth of aluminum, that's there, you can see that as well. So if you're installing this under your door, you're going to be looking for a gap of a 1/2 inch for sure. You don't want too much of that to have to compress so that you're prematurely fatiguing it and then crowning it or arcing it like this as well, arching it, so that you're not effective. You're going to want it to flatten slightly, but not too terribly much. Again, I've seen people install this between pairs of doors as astragal material, but be mindful, you'd have to have an awfully large gap between two doors to have this work. But sometimes that's what happens, and then you use something like this to close that off. I've seen material like this installed in, I've sold it to people who've installed it underneath the lid of a pickup truck, the cap that goes on the back of the bed. They want to seal that off, and they've just taken this material and screwed it down in and bolted the cap down, and it worked perfectly because they might be, in these cases, they were transporting wood. And in a rainstorm, you really kind of want to keep that away from the wood as best as possible. And this was reasonably effective to prevent that sort of intrusion. This item will sometimes ship with the vinyl inserted, and sometimes it won't. You can pull that out and then slide it back in, and that's how you're going to get access to the underside of this material for your screw holes, as I just did. Pulled a little bit of it out and down. Okay, you'll be able to grab that and then just pull it back through. It's not easy necessarily to do it, but sometimes it's not fun at all. But you'll be able to get that on, and it's standard that the vinyl, or in this case it's also available as an N for neoprene, that it ships marginally longer. It will always be a little bit longer, and trimming will always be typical for this material. This is available in the MIL for mill finish. Probably not going to see much of this, but it is also available in the DBA dark bronze if you wanted it to be available in the dark bronze finish. This is going to be a very reasonable item to use to seal the bottom of the door. If you were going to use it as an astragal, screws are included, by the way, in a complimentary finish. If you're going to use it as an astragal, I suppose you could get real fancy and mortise all of this down so that you were really just dealing with 3/8 of an inch. I've even suggested to people that they get some longer screws and some springs so you can mortise it even deeper and then tailor the exact projection of this item coming out of the edge of the preparation in the door via those springs so that you can tailor it over time. Draw it in, let it come out a little bit. Anyway, I've also seen people install this in window installations. So anywhere where you need something like this installed to seal, you're in good shape. There is a link below this video to a document called Product Info, and that is going to be encyclopedic information as it pertains to weather stripping and fire ratings. Not exactly germane to this product, but nice to be able to review. And I would suggest that you give it a once-over if you are in the construction industry as it pertains to doors. There's a link to a document called Product Catalog, and from there you can see the 774S, the mention of the two finishes, mill and dark bronze, the V for vinyl, N for neoprene. If you are looking for the better of the two options, go with neoprene. If there's any exposure to ultraviolet sunlight, go with neoprene. Vinyl is only used, in my opinion, when cost is the most important thing, because it will be less expensive. Lots of other pieces of weather stripping that you can review there. And looking at the rest of the list, I can tell you that the 778 is common, that U-shaped door bottom with a drip cap. If you have hollow metal doors, the 780S would be a good one on the second page. And if you've got some deterioration on the bottom of your door, you could probably use the 782S and come up and flush over any sort of premature initial stages of surface rust, warping of a door, things of that nature. Okay. Now, the 774S is listed in the site in lots of different lengths, everything from 2 foot to 4 foot lengths. You can have really any length that you want. We just don't get out past 8 foot lengths because okay, and we're back. And the two different the lengths from 2 foot to 8 foot, you can have longer than 8 foot if you want, but the cost, as I was saying earlier, is generally, what I was getting to, is generally prohibitive, because longer than 8 foot is simply expensive to ship. If you needed one piece at 10 foot, you're going to notice the shipping substantially. And having said that, we would be able to entertain, or if you needed a 10 foot length, you could, if you wanted, order 2 5 foot pieces and then indicate in the comment field to ship the vinyl as a continuous roll so that you can butt the 2 5 foot pieces together and then slide the vinyl in to come up with a 10 footer so you can stay below that 8 foot hard cutoff. If you have need for a custom length, by all means, let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces and simply indicate in the comment field the net length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. This is a 3 foot piece. It's unlikely this client needs exactly 36. If you needed 35 3/4 for your wood door, order it that way. Save yourself the trouble of having to cut the aluminum. That would be my opinion. You've got that slotted hole that's there, and the next one's over here, and then over here, and then over here and there. So if you order a custom length, we'll not only give you that first slotted hole at the proper distance from the edge, but the proper center to center as well. That slotted hole is awfully nice so that you can tailor that positioning on the bottom of the door or whatever you're installing it to a little bit better, because that drill bit, you know, when you're pre-drilling the hole, has a tendency to walk a little bit before it pierces in, regardless of using regardless of drilling into wood, steel, fiberglass, bronze, stainless, aluminum, whatever you're drilling into. Use the center punch to keep that drill point exactly where you want it to go into. There's also a link to the installation instructions, which measure, cut the length, install, very generic. There's a link to a template, which is a technical drawing of the item, but we've covered all of that. And then finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Hager products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the Hager 774S in an MIL finish with a vinyl insert, aluminum door bottom shoe or astragal, or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.